You might know Jay Leno as a famous comedian and host of late-night TV, but to car fans, he's much more. He's a huge car lover who can't get enough of anything related to cars and has a gigantic garage in Burbank, California, spanning 122,000 square feet, filled with everything from a modified 1955 Buick Roadmaster to the Ford Shogun. He owns classic cars and unique prototypes that showcase incredible engineering feats we wish were available to everyone. So, in this video, we'll show you some of the standout cars from his collection that will leave you amazed and inspired. Number 15. 1963 Jaguar XKE. In 1963, Jaguar released the XKE, a model that car enthusiast Jay Leno acquired through a tip from a police officer. This particular car was a barn find, meaning it had been abandoned and forgotten for years. The vehicle belonged to a hoarder and had only 17,000 miles on its odometer. Despite not having run for nearly 50 years, the XKE was in remarkable condition. The 1963 Jaguar XKE, also known as the E-Type, was made during a special time between 1961 and 1968. This car was part of the first set of XKEs ever produced. Its unique features made it stand out. The 1963 XKE boasted a 3.8-liter inline-six engine. This engine was a marvel, equipped with 3 SU carburetors. It turned out an impressive 265 horsepower at 5,500 RPM. The engine was placed in the front middle of the car, which helped it handle well. One of its defining characteristics was its design. The XKE had a sleek and aerodynamic look, with a long hood and curvy fenders that caught everyone's eye. Its glass-covered headlights added a touch of sophistication, while the shiny chrome details and wire wheels gave it a classy vibe. In terms of performance, the XKE was no slouch. Despite weighing around 2,756 pounds, it could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.4 seconds. Its quarter-mile time was an equally impressive 14.9 seconds. Underneath the stylish exterior, technical specifications revealed its prowess. With a displacement of 3,781 cubic centimeters, it had a compression ratio of 9:1 and a top speed of 149 miles per hour. Number 14. 1955 Buick Roadmaster resto-mod. In 1972, when Jay Leno first moved to Los Angeles, he bought a 1955 Buick Roadmaster for $350. This car quickly became one of his most cherished possessions, marking the beginning of a deep connection. The Buick holds immense sentimental value for Leno. It was in this car that he met his wife, went on dates, had his first romantic moments, got married, and drove to both his first and last episodes of The Tonight Show. One notable alteration lies beneath the hood, where a robust 572 cubic inch Chevrolet engine now resides. With a whopping 620 horsepower, this massive V8 engine propels the car with impressive force. Its modern upgrades ensure it's a force to be reckoned with on the road. The transmission of the Buick Roadmaster resto-mod has also been updated to a 4L85E automatic transmission. This modern gearbox ensures smooth shifts and efficient power delivery, thereby enhancing both performance and drivability. Moreover, the suspension and handling have been significantly improved. Upgraded components like modern shocks and springs contribute to better road-holding capabilities, elevating the Roadmaster's handling to a new level of precision and comfort. Inside, meticulous restoration work has been done to combine vintage aesthetics with modern comforts. Plush seats, climate control, and a high-end sound system ensure a comfortable and enjoyable driving experience. Number 13. 1914 Detroit Electric. The 1914 Detroit Electric is an early electric car made by the Anderson Electric Car Company. Jay Leno, a well-known car enthusiast, showcased a modified version of this vintage car on his YouTube channel, Jay Leno's Garage. This modified 1914 Detroit Electric, known as a resto-mod, has been upgraded with modern components to improve its practicality and reliability for everyday driving. In Leno's version, the car retains its original body and classic style, preserving its vintage appearance. At its core was a 48-volt DC electric motor, offering an estimated 3 horsepower in its original form. However, a resto-mod version by Jay Leno elevated its power further. The car's body retained its vintage appearance, complete with 4-wheel semi-elliptical leaf springs for a comfortable ride and rear-wheel mechanical drum brakes for reliable stopping power. Leno's modifications included a new battery pack with 54 cells and 108 volts, boosting its power significantly. This upgrade enhanced the vehicle's performance, providing a more thrilling driving experience compared to its original iteration. Despite the improvements, the classic charm and elegance of the 1940 model remain intact, making it a sight to behold whether cruising through city streets or showcased at vintage car shows. Moreover, with modern components, Leno's Detroit Electric became more practical for everyday driving, alleviating concerns about range anxiety with its improved electric range. Number 12. 1907 White Steam Car. In late 2022, Jay Leno experienced a severe accident while working on his cherished 1907 White Steam Car. The car sprayed him with gasoline, leading to third-degree burns on his hands and the side of his face, causing him to catch fire. This steam car is one of several vintage automobiles in Leno's extensive collection, which also includes a few Stanley steamers and a 1925 Double E20. The 1907 White Steam Car, with a power output of 30 horsepower, was more expensive than a Rolls-Royce when it was first released. Despite its high cost, the car quickly became popular. Leno has meticulously restored this car to its original factory condition, using parts created with three-dimensional printing technology. These parts are as reliable and high quality as the originals, ensuring the car's authenticity and performance are maintained. Leno's dedication to preserving automotive history is evident in the care and precision he applies to his restorations, allowing these classic vehicles to be appreciated by future generations. Number 11. 1959 Austin Healey Sprite. The 1959 Austin Healey Sprite is a small and charming sports car, often affectionately called the Bug Eye or Frog Eye because of its distinctive front design. This car is known for its playful and fun character. Under the hood, it has a small 948 cubic centimeter four-cylinder engine that produces just 43 horsepower. The Sprite's iconic appearance, characterized by its round headlights atop the hood, evoked a friendly and mischievous persona akin to characters found in children's books. Its minimalist bodywork and compact size earned it the reputation of a true pocket rocket. But where the Sprite truly excelled was in its handling. Its lightweight build and low center of gravity endowed it with nimble maneuverability, turning winding roads into playgrounds and parking lots into slalom courses. The connection between driver and car was immediate and visceral, enhancing the driving experience. While the Sprite might not deliver jaw-dropping acceleration or break land speed records, its performance was still exhilarating. With a modest 0 to 60 miles per hour time and a top speed around 80 miles per hour, the Sprite's driving dynamics made it feel faster than it actually was. Its straightforward 4-speed manual transmission added to the engaging driving experience, with no fancy electronics, just the driver, the gear lever, and the open road. Number 10. 1967 Panhard 24BT. Jay Leno owns a 1967 Panhard 24BT, which is one of the rarest cars in the United States. This car is a beautiful and compact example of French sophistication and style. It features an 850 cubic centimeter two-cylinder engine that can reach a top speed of over 90 miles per hour. Compared to the Volkswagen Beetle, the Panhard 24BT is a far superior car. Despite having half the cylinders and displacement, it produces twice the horsepower, making it much faster. Leno's Panhard 24BT is not just an impressive car, it's also a piece of history. It was once owned by television producer Quinn Martin. Martin took great care of the car, polishing the exterior and upgrading the interior with leather. As a result, the car looks fantastic and well preserved. This Panhard 24BT is a stunning blend of historical significance and French automotive excellence, making it a prized possession in Jay Leno's collection. Number 9. 1953 Talbot-Lago Grand Sport. Jay Leno was clearly delighted when he bought his 1953 Talbot-Lago Grand Sport, and his enthusiasm is evident when he discusses its history and background. This car is particularly special to him because it is one of the rarest in his collection, being the only Grand Sport model equipped with bumpers. Under its hood, you'll find a powerful 4.5-liter engine. This engine doesn't use any turbochargers, it's just pure power. It can produce 1,212 brake horsepower at 4,500 RPM. That's a lot of power packed into a small space. One thing that makes the car unique is its bumpers. Unlike most Grand Sport models, this one has shiny chrome bumpers. It might seem like a small detail, but it adds character to the car. This particular Grand Sport has been lovingly restored by Jay Leno, a car enthusiast. It was forgotten in a garage for over 60 years before he got his hands on it. Now, it looks as good as new, every detail meticulously brought back to life. When it comes to driving, the Grand Sport doesn't disappoint. It has a smooth 4-speed Wilson pre-select transmission, making gear changes easy and precise. Despite its weight of 1,350 kilograms, it's still agile and stable on the road. But what really makes this car special is its charm. It's not just about how fast it can go, but the elegance it exudes, whether it's sitting pretty at a fancy event or cruising along a picturesque road. Number 8. 1956 Chevrolet Nomad resto-mod. In 1956, Chevrolet released the Nomad, a beloved American station wagon. Car enthusiasts often choose this model for resto-modding, a process of restoring and modifying vintage cars. On the television show Overhauling, Jay Leno took a 1956 Chevy Nomad from his friend Dave Kalacki's yard without him knowing. This car was in poor condition, but they embarked on a complete restoration project. They replaced the old decaying parts of the car and installed a powerful 572 cubic inch big block Chevrolet engine. Alongside the mechanical upgrades, the Nomad received a full cosmetic makeover. The transformation included a striking paint job, combining wide red with white accents. The result was a stunning appearance that breathed new life into the classic vehicle. Through meticulous work and attention to detail, the team restored the Nomad to its former glory, ensuring that it would turn heads wherever it went. This project exemplifies the passion and dedication of car enthusiasts in preserving and enhancing the legacy of iconic automobiles like the 1956 Chevrolet Nomad. Number 7. 1966 Oldsmobile Toronado. During the 1960s, General Motors had many different brands that were all competing fiercely with each other. One of these brands was Oldsmobile, which came up with some really clever cars at the time. One of their notable creations was the 1966 Oldsmobile Toronado. Jay Leno, a famous car enthusiast, owns one of these and thinks it's the best version of that model ever made. What made it stand out was its front-wheel drive setup. This setup meant better grip and control, especially in tricky weather conditions. Plus, it made more room inside by ditching the need for a big drive shaft tunnel. Another cool thing about the Toronado was its unitized power package. This fancy term meant that the engine, transmission, and differential were all packed together in one neat unit. This made fixing stuff under the hood way easier. The car wasn't just practical, it looked sleek too, with its smooth lines and hidden headlights. Underneath that stylish hood, there lurked a mighty 7-liter, that's a whopping 425 cubic inches, V8 engine. This beast churned out a jaw-dropping 385 horsepower and a massive 475 pound-feet of torque. And it didn't stop there. Paired with a 3-speed turbo-hydromatic automatic transmission, driving the Tornado was an exhilarating experience. Speaking of transmissions, that turbo-hydromatic one wasn't just a mouthful, it was as smooth as silk. No jerky shifts here, just seamless acceleration and cruising. Plus, without a drive shaft and rear axle weighing it down, the Tornado handled like a dream. It wasn't just a car, it was an experience. Number 6. 1968 Pontiac Firebird Sprint. The 1968 Pontiac Firebird Sprint was a performance-oriented variant from the first generation of Firebirds. It was made to be faster and more exciting to drive than the regular Firebirds. Jay Leno had one of these cars. He had a convertible version with an inline-6 engine. This was special because usually Pontiacs from that time had big V8 engines. But Leno wanted to show that Pontiacs weren't just about going fast in a straight line. He got his car in 2019 and worked on it a bit to make it look better and run smoother. He added some modern parts to make it easier to drive. What set it apart was its engine. Unlike many other muscle cars of its time, it didn't solely rely on big size and raw power. Instead, it introduced something different, the Pontiac Overhead Cam 6 engine. This inline-6 engine was all about being efficient and delivering high revs rather than just torque. Initially, it had a displacement of 230 cubic inches, later bumped up to 250 cubic inches in the 1968 model. Despite being a 6-cylinder, it packed a punch, producing 175 horsepower, which was competitive with some entry-level V8 engines. What's interesting is its camshaft. Instead of the useful chain, it used a toothed, fiberglass reinforced rubber cam timing belt, which not only made it durable, but also required less maintenance. The high-performance versions, the Sprint 6 was even more impressive, boasting 207 horsepower thanks to a 10.5-to-1 compression ratio, a different camshaft, double valve springs, and a quadrajet 4-barrel carburetor. When it came to transmission, drivers could choose between 3 or 4-speed manuals. Its lightweight design and efficient power delivery made it a pleasure to drive, especially when maneuvering through corners. Number 5. 1928 Bugatti Type 37A. The 1927 Bugatti Type 37A is part of Jay Leno's impressive collection of Bugatti cars. Among his treasure is the 1913 Bugatti Type 22, believed to be the oldest running creation from the French car manufacturer. However, we're focusing on the Type 37A here, which came onto the scene less than 20 years after the renowned Type 22. This car was produced by Bugatti from 27 to 30. It boasted an inline-4 configuration with a displacement of 1.5 liters. Its power ranged from 79 to 84 horsepower, running on gasoline. Unlike its predecessor, the Type 37, which was tailored for amateur racers, the 37A was supercharged. This enhancement provided an additional 20 horsepower, bringing its total to 79, with an engine that maxed out at 5,000 RPM. It could sprint to a top speed of 122 miles per hour. This was a notable achievement for its time. The Type 37A earned its stripes as a sports car, making a name for itself in various Grand Prix races. Known for its blend of power, finesse, and lightness, it stood out among pre-World War classics. Jay Leno acquired his Type 37A from Robert Dunlop, the former president of the American Bugatti Club. Number 4. 1963 Chrysler Turbine Ultimate Edition. Jay Leno bought the 1963 Chrysler Turbine Ultimate Edition in 2008 from the Walter P. Chrysler Museum. This car is called a turbine because it runs on a special kind of engine that uses gas. It's different from regular car engines because it tries to be more environmentally friendly by producing fewer harmful emissions. The Chrysler Turbine car was designed to be very advanced for its time. It was made by Chrysler from 63 to 64. Instead of a traditional engine, it has a gas turbine engine. This engine is different from what you'd find in most cars. It doesn't have a specific size like regular engines do. The turbine engine in this car can run on different kinds of fuel like gas, diesel, vegetable oil, kerosene, or even jet fuel. The engine in this car is called a Chrysler A831 turbine. It's made of different materials like iron, aluminum, and steel. Even though it's not as powerful as some other engines, it can still make the car go fast. It produces 130 horsepower and 425 pound-feet of torque. This means it can go up to 115 miles per hour. The car can fit 4 people and is good for driving in cities and on highways, but it's not meant for racing. Number 3. 1972 Mercedes-Benz 600 compressor. Jay Leno used to work at a Mercedes-Benz dealership when he was in college. Now he owns a 1972 Mercedes-Benz 600 compressor, and it's his favorite car. The Benz represents power and luxury, qualities that are hard to find in modern vehicles. Picture yourself behind the wheel of one of the largest cars of its time, painted in a classy brown color and filled with a sophisticated hydraulic system that controls everything from the windows to the seats. The car was made by Mercedes-Benz between 1964 and 1981. Its engine is a V8 with an added supercharger, giving it a displacement of 6.3 liters and a hefty 525 horsepower. Jay Leno acquired this car from Carl Mittelhoff, who was also a big fan of the Benz 600. The non-factory supercharger boosts the engine's power, making the drive more exciting. Despite being a classic, this car comes with some modern conveniences, like a refrigerator built into the center console. And of course, it still has the iconic Mercedes-Benz engine sound that enthusiasts love. Jay Leno cherishes this car for its history, power, and unique features, making it a prized possession in his collection. Number 2. 1991 LCC Rocket. The 1991 LCC Rocket is not your typical car. Gordon Murray, its creator, had a special vision for it. He wanted to create the car he'd always dreamed of, so he introduced the world to a lightweight vehicle weighing under 800 pounds. This car had a unique rear-engine 2-seater design, sitting on an all-steel chassis. It also boasted cutting-edge motor technology for its time. In terms of appearance, this car, launched in the 1990s, harks back to the style of the 1960s. Its design features tire-hugging fenders and a glossy paint finish, giving it a distinctive and attractive look. Under the hood, the Rocket was powered by a Yamaha motorcycle engine, producing an impressive 143 horsepower and capable of revving up to 12,500 RPM. Paired with a 6-speed sequential gearbox, this engine delivered exhilarating performance despite the car's small size. Only 55 Rockets were ever made. Despite its compact dimensions, enthusiasts like Jay Leno have praised its ride quality, noting that it delivers an experience that exceeds its diminutive stature. Number 1. 1990 Ford Shogun. In 1990, Ford introduced a unique vehicle called the Shogun. This car stands out for its distinctive design and features. Even Road and Track magazines described it as the crazy mid-engined hatch Ford never made, highlighting its unconventional nature. Jay Leno also praises its uniqueness, stating that there's nothing quite like it. Combining the strength of American muscle cars with the precision of Japanese engineering, this particular Shogun, owned by Jay Leno, is a significant departure from the ordinary Ford Festiva, which had a modest 58 horsepower. Thanks to the collaboration between Chuck Beck and Rick Titus, the Shogun received a major overhaul with a Yamaha-built V6 engine from the Taurus show fitted into its rear. Under the hood, the Shogun boasted a 3-liter V6 engine producing 220 horsepower and 215 pound-feet of torque, running on gasoline. In California, Jay Leno can often be seen cruising the highways in this powerful machine, which boasts one of the best power-to-weight ratios of its time. With the additional nitrous tank, the Shogun's horsepower is boosted to around 220. Over the years of Leno's ownership, minimal maintenance has been required, limited to battery replacements, oil changes, and nitrous refills. These 15 secret cars from Jay Leno's collection offer a fascinating glimpse into automotive history. But why does Jay keep them hidden? What other treasures lie in his garage? Don't miss out. Hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive insights into Jay Leno's legendary car collection.